Well, good Monday morning, Alaska. We have been dealing with more than 48 hours of some of those high winds across South Central. And while those are continuing this morning, we are going to see some good news in the forecast later this afternoon into the evening as those winds begin to subside. With that said, we'll still hold on to some gusty conditions into the evening, although the vast majority of South Central will see those winds less than about 40 miles per hour into the night. So those windy impacts, they are still remaining. We've seen gusts of 50 to 90 miles per hour across South Central. Some power outages, down trees and blowing debris. That continues to be some of those bigger concerns. We've seen several reports of damage across the Anchorage Bowl into the valley. And of course, those winds will subside into the night, but we'll still see some occasional gusty winds into our Tuesday and possibly Wednesday as our pressure gradient begins to subside across South Central. But again, the greatest impacts will be with us through at least the afternoon hours. Now, these are the max winds we've seen so far across South Central. Up to 90 miles per hour in Palmer, Anchorage, up towards Wasilla and Talkeetna has seen max winds of about 50 to 60 miles per hour today. With that said, yesterday Anchorage did see gusts up to about hurricane force with a max wind of, I believe it was about 72 miles per hour. Not as strong across the Kenai, but we are still favoring areas of the Cook Inlet region where we're seeing some of those gustier winds, as well as out towards Valdez and Thompson Pass. So that's where we've really been holding on to some of those more concerning winds. Of course, Kodiak also seeing some of those strong gusty conditions that have been with us. And then notice this wind forecast throughout the remainder of today. Now, those high wind warnings, wind advisories, those continue through noon and then they expire. Once those drop off, yes, we'll still see some gusty winds, but the strongest wind gust over 60 miles per hour will subside for practically everyone. The only exception, notice that band that we're seeing from Palmer out towards Sutton, extending to the southeast out towards Valdez, Thompson Pass. That will continue into the evening, but overnight you can even see those winds are subsiding. Now, if you remember just about 1 to 2 minutes ago, we were talking about these winds possibly going to continue into Tuesday and Wednesday. That looks to be the case, but notice the winds themselves, very localized in nature. Not everyone will see them, but parts of the valley out towards Valdez, Thompson Pass, as you head out towards Kachemak Bay, Seldovia, as well as Kodiak, could still see some gusts of about 40 to 50, if not 60 miles per hour tomorrow. But that will be very few and far between. Not everyone will see it. And this comes as our pressure gradient begins to relax across South Central. So until that really falls apart, we will favor some of those gustier winds through the gap, those gap winds that will remain with us through midweek. But the vast majority of South Central will see the strongest, most concerning winds that have been with us die down throughout today and into the evening hours. As that comes to an end, we'll begin to tap into some of that colder air that's been locked in place to the north. So Fairbanks and the interior, where we're already seeing those temperatures sitting about 20 to 30 below zero, we're going to see that colder weather head our way in South Central later this week. That's going to bring the return to highs in the single digits and overnight lows sitting near, if not some sub-zero values. So another stretch of cold weather is to be expected. In fact, we're currently sitting at a December that's about 5 to 6 degrees colder than what we did see last December, and that will likely continue with this cold weather snap through the end of the month. And unfortunately for those who love snow, specifically for South Central and areas of Southwest Alaska which have been dry, still looking to remain on the dry side for the foreseeable future. We may see some light snow accumulation as we welcome in Christmas week, but even then, at best, it will just bring some light snow accumulation. That can and could change, but as of right now, and as the trends have been for some time, we'll continue to hold on to this cold and dry weather pattern. In fact, Fairbanks, McGrath already sitting at 20 degrees colder than this time yesterday. While we are holding on to some warmer conditions as you head out towards parts of western Alaska, as our ridge is still with us, still cool compared to where we have been sitting at across the rest of the state. It is warmer compared to what has been building across the state for the last several weeks. But as far as what we're going to see across South Central, windy conditions stay with us today. Temperatures in the 20s, although it feels more like the single digits when you factor in those winds with that wind chill. And then there's those temperatures steadily dropping. Single digit highs, overnight lows, sub-zero values. And if you head into the valley as well as the Copper River Basin, expect even colder conditions. But this will lead us up into Christmas week. And of course, you notice Sunday officially begins winter, and we're going to see a high of about 7 degrees. Speaking of winter, ongoing winter weather continues out out towards southeast, we've got several locations that remain up under winter storm warnings, as well as winter weather advisories. About 3 to 10 inches of snow accumulation looks likely for many areas, excluding the southern panhandle. Really, for locations from Sitka south, this will be including everyone from Ketchikan, Metlakatla out towards Sitka. Now, Hyder, the notoriously cold spot as you head out towards parts of the southern panhandle, will still hold on to some winter weather. This is where we're still seeing that winter storm warning for up to 10 inches of snow accumulation. So that will stay with us through at least the middle of the week. We could see again several inches as you head out towards the northern and central panhandle. And of course, Juneau and surrounding areas may see 10 to about 15 inches of snow accumulation. Now, the heaviest amounts did fall through the weekend. But we'll add on to that throughout the remainder of today into our Tuesday, with that activity tapering off by midweek. Now, if you live out towards Sitka, Petersburg, Craig, Ketchikan, that rain snow mix that we are expected to see will eat into those snowfall totals. So while you'll still see some snow accumulation, the further north you live in southeast, the better your opportunity of seeing some of that significant snow. So that stays with us here over the next couple of days, and then we'll see some windy weather and some colder conditions making a return to southeast. For today, though, those afternoon highs across the state, you can see cold to the north, areas out west sitting in the teens and single digits, with some of the warmest conditions for the last week to 2 weeks impacting areas of the Aleutians. That's where we'll have no trouble warming into the 30s, potentially near 40 degrees. That stays with us the next, really through at least the middle of the week before that ridge begins to back off. And we'll also be watching some areas of snow pushing through the interior as well as along the slope as we welcome in the coming days. Now, the slope, you'll see that snow sticking around from today through Wednesday. Areas of the eastern Beaufort Seacoast up under a blizzard warning where we could see some localized blizzard conditions. And of course, the interior, you'll hold on to that chance for seeing some light snow as we welcome in your Tuesday with limited accumulation to be expected. But winds still with us across South Central. Again, those do subside throughout the day. The strongest winds certainly have begun to die down across South Central, but we'll still see some gusts of about 40 to 60 miles per hour today, with those winds certainly a lot quieter as we welcome in your Tuesday and Wednesday, outside of some occasional gust up to 40 to 50 miles per hour into the valley. Take it easy out there. Let us know if you've seen any damage in your neck of the woods, and be prepared. Colder weather is heading our way. Of course, we'll have more on that here on the digital desk throughout the week, as well as in our evening newscast. For now, make sure you have a great Monday. Stay warm and stay safe.